Instagram stories for Friday, January 12th. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. I am traveling this week, so apologies for the not great audio quality, but I want to continue to make content for you, so bear with me. We are going to do an AMA, Ask Me Anything, with the head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, and talk about some of the recent clips that he posted. The first question, I'm seeing some questionable stuff be recommended to me on Threads. What's the deal? This is a very good question. I have had a very similar experience, and frankly, there are some things I just don't want to see. Here's Adam's answer to the question.
We want people to have a positive experience on Threads, and we've actually had some issues over the last few weeks with low quality recommendations, things that don't quite violate our community guidelines, which is when we take content down entirely, but kind of go right up to that line. So we're working on improving it. A lot of it should be fixed at this point. Let me know if you're not seeing that, but there's a lot more work to do and expect it to get much better over the next few weeks. Again, apologies.
Looking forward to seeing those improvements that he mentioned. Next question. When Threads hits 1 year, what do you see success as? I like this question because I think it's very hard to define success when there's such a competitive nature between this platform, Threads, and Twitter, X, which are pretty much for the same thing. I don't see Twitter or X going away 100% anytime soon, but just like TikTok and Instagram have this rivalry when it comes to videos, I think Threads and X will have that same rivalry when it comes to communication with no clear-cut winner. Here's Adam's answer.
Over the long run, the goal success really is becoming the de facto platform for conversations online. And so that means beating X or beating Twitter. So I think at a year, I'd want to be really confident about that trajectory. I'd want to feel really good about our ability to do that over the next few years.
Let's keep going with the Threads conversations. The next question. What has been your biggest unforeseen issue with Threads? His answer surprised me.
I think the thing that we've been most surprised by, which maybe we shouldn't have been so surprised by, is how difficult it is to build Threads on top of ActivityPub and integrate it with the Fediverse. Not because of anything about ActivityPub, but just because of the combination of our scale, the compliance requirements we have, the incoming regulations, and the complexities with managing data that isn't necessarily on your servers at all and can go in both directions. Now, it's great to build a system that is interoperable and allows people more choice, but it is much more complicated than I think we realized going into it. We're committed to it. You'll see a lot of progress over the course of this year, but not as fast as I would have liked, and that's a bit of a surprise, at least to me.
I think that interoperability that he's talking about will be a key differentiator between Threads and X long term, but I don't see that making that much difference in the short term to reach the goal that he's talking about. Next question. What's been your favorite viral trend on Threads? Here's his answer.
It's been fun to see a bunch of trends, often really wholesome trends, naturally, succeed on Threads. I don't know why, but I think the one that jumps to mind is the Dear Algorithm one. I love the idea of people trying to tell the algorithm or tell us what they're most interested in, because I think we can do a better job understanding people's interests, giving people more control, and there's a lot of upside in doing better ranking, particularly on Threads, given how early we are. So that one, I don't know, it felt good. I think it also indicated that we've got a problem to solve, and so hopefully we can go and make a lot of progress on that in 2024.
We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get into some of the other questions that he answered as they relate to Instagram, so stick around. Welcome back. Let's get into the Instagram section of the Ask Me Anything that Adam Mosseri did. The first question, how do I make a broadcast channel? If you're not familiar, broadcast channels are a way for you to communicate with people who subscribe to your broadcast channel within the Instagram DM inbox. They can't communicate back to you except through reactions via emojis, or they can vote in polls. But you can send them one-way messages. Here's Adam's answer for how to make a broadcast channel.
You need to have a professional account, and then you just go to your inbox and you hit the compose button, and one of the options is to create a channel. And that allows you to have a direct line with the fans that opt into that channel. So your followers that are most passionate about what you do. So I'd be really intentional about doing so, because you need to have a strategy. Like, what kind of thing are you going to share with a subset of your followers that are particularly passionate about what you do? And for some of us, that answer is clear, and for some of us, it's not. So just think about that before you sign up.
Let's move on to the next question. Is it true that engagement and reach will continue to decrease in 2024? I will say that for the vast majority of people, the answer to this question will be yes. However, if you are a person who is an up-and-coming famous person, maybe you're an actor or an actress and you've just booked some kind of major television or movie deal, a person like that is going to get more reach. That's a very small subset of the population of Instagram users, though. Here's his answer to the question.
Reach and engagement is actually going to increase for some people and decrease for others. That's always how it goes. In general, we want to connect people with content that they're interested in. So if we can tell that your followers are interested in your content, it's in our interest to show them that content, because then they'll be happier, they'll use Instagram more, you'll be happier, and our business will be stronger. But if we're finding that there's other things that they're more interested in, we're going to be incentivized to connect them with that content. So that is the tension. Now, the more we grow the overall pie, the more reach there is to go around. So that continues to be our focus. But I would expect reach to go down for some people and up for others. My advice is to explore and iterate, test. Your audience is different than anyone else's audience, and what they're interested in will change month over month. So continue to try new things and figure out a way to create content that they find engaging, but also that is aligned with who you are and what you're trying to get out of the platform.
And the last question we're going to discuss today, what's coming up for Instagram that you're most excited about? Here's Adam's answer.
There are a couple ideas I'm particularly excited about that I can't share yet that make Instagram more social. I think we're an entertaining place. We're a place to see content from the creators that you love, but we're also a platform for friends to connect with friends, for people to connect over creativity that they find interesting. And so there's a few new ideas that are in the same sort of spirit, though look very different than things like sharing a reel that you find funny or replying to a story that you find interesting. And in this space of connecting with friends about your interests. So a couple of those, hopefully we'll be testing over the next couple months.
I'm actually very interested to find out what he's talking about there. I think a lot of sharing that happens either in the DMs or via text message, whether you use iMessage, WhatsApp, or just regular texting to share content that you found around the web that you think your friends and family would find interesting. If there's some kind of collaborative way to do that on Instagram that's unique and different, I'm very much looking forward to seeing how that plays out. That is going to do it for today's episode. As always, thank you for listening. If you have just a moment and you enjoy this content, can you send me a direct message at Daniel Hill Media? I would love to chat with you, find out what you like about the show, where you think I can improve things, and just overall connect with those of you who've been listening, in some cases for years at this point. Send me a DM. I look forward to chatting with you.
I'm not yet a member of the Instagram team, but my podcast covers many Instagram themes. But the name, image, logos are trademarks of Instagram and the LCC in the USA and every territory. Everything I publish independently. Until they let me run my team and start to pay my salary. Not sponsored or endorsed, no lies, no fallacy. I use their logo with permission, not malicious or callously. No trademark violation, filling all criteria. Follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Daniel Hill Media.